America's most senior diplomat has been forced to clarify comments by President Joe Biden that Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power in Russia. Today, the US Secretary of State denied that means the White House has a policy of seeking regime change in Moscow. The Kremlin had already dismissed Mr. Biden's remarks, saying it's for Russians to choose their own leader. Our diplomatic correspondent Caroline Hawley reports.
I think he is a war criminal. He's a butcher.
It's not the first time Joe Biden's off-the-cuff remarks about President Putin have left his officials scrambling to clarify and explain. Just before he left Poland, he went off message again.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
Today, his Secretary of State visiting the Middle East found himself in the unusual position of having to agree with the Kremlin that it was up to Russians to decide who ruled them.
As you know, and as you've heard us say repeatedly, we do not have a strategy of regime change in Russia or anywhere else for that matter. In this case, as in any case, it's up to the people of the country in question. It's up to the Russian people.
The same message came from the government here.
It is only the Russian people that can make that decision. I suspect most of them are pretty fed up with Putin and his cronies and the illegal war.
As the war in Ukraine causes ever more destruction, there are fears that President Biden is burning bridges with the Kremlin, bridges that could be needed to stop the war. So how now to put out the diplomatic flames? A veteran American diplomat said his comments had made a dangerous situation more dangerous, and he suggested the president's aides made clear to their Russian counterparts that the US is prepared to deal with this Russian government. There was a rebuke too from President Macron of France, who's due to speak to Mr. Putin again this week.
I wouldn't use that kind of language because I'm still talking to President Putin. Because what do we want to do collectively? We want to stop the war that Russia has started in Ukraine without going to war and without escalating. That is our objective. But if we want to do that, we must not escalate, either in words or in actions.
So President Biden arrived home from his tour of Europe to questions about whether his blunt language could...
Perché se da questa vicenda usciremo come prima, saremo in qualche modo tutti colpevoli. Di fronte al pericolo di autodistruggersi, l'umanità comprenda che è giunto il momento di abolire la guerra, di cancellarla dalla storia dell'uomo prima che sia lei a cancellare l'uomo dalla storia. Prego per ogni responsabile politico di riflettere su questo, di impegnarsi su questo e guardando alla martoriata Ucraina di capire come ogni giorno di guerra peggiora la situazione per tutti. Perciò rinnovo il mio appello. Basta, ci si fermi, tacciano le armi, si tratti